right, boys.
You want to put it up here? Yeah. You can put it up here. You're fine. Go ahead. You already recording? Okay. There we go. Do you want to? I'm going to pause it. We got a few minutes still.
Okay.
So you just ended up with a bunch of noise.
Thanks, appreciate it. Yeah. Basically, the stuff is sort of like the rest of the day is sort of looking good. Okay. As far as just trying to get everything cleared, what's up? What's it right by traffic? Okay, expect for the next day or so.
Does everybody have their microphones up here that need to get up here? You still have a few minutes here. You go? I'm good. You go ahead.
No, I'm just going to take a picture.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Unless you're going to start right now.
No, I'm not going to start right now. I'll give you just a few moments here. Yeah, who's got a white? Who's got white? We going this way? We good? Good? All right. Anyone else? Thank you. Hey, so did you get some photos? Okay. I failed to do that yesterday. Okay.
Yes, we did.
How many of you are going live at 11? Okay. I'll go ahead and give a quick briefing before we get started just so you guys can be on time, okay? My name is Trooper Will Finn, F as in Frank, INN, with the Washington State Patrol. Today you'll be receiving a briefing from Captain Dan Hall, H as in Henry, ALL, Commander for the area with the Washington State Patrol. Also from Travis Phelps, PHELPS, spokesperson for the Washington State Department of Transportation. Both of these men will be giving you a briefing on the operations for today, and Washington State Department of Transportation will also be giving you a briefing on traffic conditions for today and then going into the next couple of days. Please hold all your questions until the briefing is over, and then we will take those questions. We got a little crazy yesterday when we jumped in there on the speaker, so please let these gentlemen finish, and then we'll take your questions, all right? I think everybody is good where they're at. Please don't crowd around. We're pretty good today. So, all right, any questions before we get started? No? Okay. Give it just a few more moments here and we'll start right at 11, okay? You can just set it right here. There's a little up right here. You good?
Thank you.
There you go. You bet. Not a problem. There you go. Chris, she's hiding out on me. That's okay. There's one in every group. It's fine. It's usually me. Thank goodness it's you today. All right. One more? Go ahead. Good. How are you? Go and get it on there.
I was shocked myself.
Okay. You bet. You bet. You bet. All right, any more? Go ahead. Does everybody have the spellings on the names? And who's speaking today? No? Okay. Captain Dan Hall, H-A-L-L, Commander for the region with the Washington State Patrol, and Travis Phelps, P-H-E-L-P-S, spokesperson for the Washington State Department of Transportation. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Captain Hull now.
Hello. Like you said, I'm Dan Hall. I'm a captain with the Washington State Patrol. The reason why I'm out here today is I wanted to give everybody a quick overview on the operations today, what we're going to be doing, and what our citizens can expect to see throughout the rest of the day today. Before I get into that, though, I do want to reiterate a message that we had last night. Again, there are only 3 confirmed fatalities from this tragic accident. We are still seeing some reports out there, whether it be social media or on other news sources, of multiple or more than 3 fatalities. That is not true. There are only 3. If you hear of any other numbers, please make sure that you check with the command post here, and we will verify that information for you. As you've probably already noticed, today we have heavy equipment out there with the cranes lifting the rail cars from their place of rest onto flatbed trailers. We are going to be moving those rail cars to a secure location on base. And while we're doing that, we're going to put them on flatbeds. We'll get them staged in the area until we have multiples go at the same time. We want to try to limit that transportation of those rail cars to only a few trips, so it minimizes the impact to traffic. The semis and the trailers are going to be taken up to Stillicum DuPont Road. They're going to be traveling northbound in the southbound lanes, which we already have closed, so there's not going to be any impact there. However, for a brief moment while we cross those trucks across I-5, there's going to be a minute or two, just long enough for those trucks to get across, where traffic is going to be impacted. But again, we expect those delays to be very minimal. Once we get onto Stillicum DuPont, we are going to try to move swiftly. They are going to be escorted by law enforcement, and DuPont Police Department is also going to be there to help with traffic control. And so again, we are expecting the traffic delays in that area to be minimal. However, later this afternoon, we've got to remove the locomotive from the scene. Just to give you an idea of that locomotive, it weighs over 270,000 pounds. It is extremely heavy. The trailer that we have to use to remove that is considered a lowboy. The length of that, it takes 2 tractor trailers to move it, and with the trailer itself is over 270 feet in length, and it's probably going to be wider than 1 lane, possibly into 2 lanes. It is going to take quite a feat to get that out of there. We are expecting that to occur later this afternoon. We are still working on the logistics on exactly how we are going to do that. But right now the plan is again, we are going to go northbound in the southbound lanes to the Stillicum DuPont exit. We will take the exit there. Once we get onto Stillicum DuPont Road, expect it to be closed while we move that. We are going to need both lanes of travel in order to safely move that. As you see throughout the day, as these cars are being moved, Please be cognizant that while one train car may be very easy to strap onto with the crane and get it onto a semi, that is not the case for all of them. Each one of these cars have a unique challenge to them, and the biggest responsibility or the biggest care we have right now is for our on-scene responders to make sure that they are safe. So we are moving as quickly as we can. However, we are making sure that everybody that's at that scene is safe. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Travis Phelps, TRA-VIS, last name PHELPS, spokesperson for the Washington State DOT. As the Captain just said, we are making some progress today, removing some train cars from the area. However, I do want to stress, this does not mean I-5 will reopen tonight. It still could be closed for several days. We're carefully working with the National Transportation Safety Board, as well as emergency crews in the area, to wrap up the investigation and to move these train cars. That being said, this is a very careful, delicate operation. We've got some weather in the area today, wind and rain. That can complicate these big moves with these cranes that we're doing. In addition, these are very, very heavy, and we'll take some time to make sure we have a plan in place to remove them safely. In terms of traffic conditions, drivers doing their part, definitely avoiding the area today. I do want to stress this closure on I-5 has a regional effect. We are seeing some significant delays on 507 between Stillicum and Yelm. At times that backup has reached close to 16 miles. So even though I-5 is maybe not your destination, all these other alternate routes around the area are going to be jam-packed. So until I-5 reopens, drivers really need to do their part by planning ahead, checking traffic conditions before they go. If they can delay their trip or talk to their employers about working from home or using alternate modes of travel, such as taking the bus or carpooling, definitely recommend it. Again, just because we're moving train cars today does not mean we'll be able to reopen I-5 anytime soon. Plan on not being closed at least through tonight. We'll have an update as the cleanup crew gets more of the cars out of the way in terms of an ETA, but for tonight it remains closed. Probably plan on it being shut down at least for the morning commute tomorrow, maybe later. So again, plan on significant congestion on all alternate routes. With that,
questions? Can you describe what is going to happen with the cars once they end up at their destination, and can you say more where that is?
No, I can't say on exactly where they're going to be, but they're going to go to a secure facility on base.
And our NTSB investigators are going to continue to inspect them there?
Yes, absolutely. Once we get them removed from the scene, NTSB, who has taken over the primary for the investigation of this, will be able to conduct a investigation to document everything that occurred in those cars in a safe environment.
that's going to be the next step. So the question was, what's the roadway look like? We're still moving those train cars, and again, we're going to have to do a thorough inspection of both the structure above as well as the roadway below. We do have weather in the area that could play a factor in making repairs to the road, so too soon to tell yet, but as soon as we can move these cars safely, and again, once the NTSB completes their investigation, we'll have a better idea of what that road looks like, and that will factor into the opening time for the road. We're going to be working with bridge inspection teams, so we definitely want to make sure if we reopen the road that the bridge or the structure does not pose any danger. So that definitely is part of the process to open the roadway.
Travis, can you tell us what sort of testing does track undergo before the first revenue train starts?
That's not something I'm here really to talk about traffic and reopening. I don't have that information. I'm sorry. Yeah, no, I don't. We can work with and get that information on in the briefing for you. Sorry, what's the question? In terms of picking up the train cars, we're using 2 cranes as well as some flatbed trucks.
And those all your numbers on the cars are moving, not all the cars are fatality, not all of them going to this site?
I'll turn that over to you. It's more of an ops question there.
I apologize. Can you repeat that question for me?
The number of cars that you guys gave us earlier were removed, did not add up to all 14 of the cars that were involved in the accident. Some of them not going to this site.
No, all of them will be going to the site. Once we get all of them recovered, they will be going to the same site. The only difference is some of those cars are still on the tracks, and those will remain here and be moved by other methods.
You talked about those 3 fatalities. Is there a chance that there are any more, or is that all the fatalities?
That is all the fatalities. With the caveat that we did have some seriously injured and are in the hospitals, but right now there are only 3.
So, sir, you're saying everybody is accounted for?
Yes. There was a total of 14 with the 2 locomotives. I believe we just moved 4, possibly 5. There was an issue with one of them. We weren't sure if they were going to move on the first wave, but they're going to slowly be moving out. I believe that 4 of them have been removed. I would have to look at it. I believe there's 2, a locomotive and another car.
What was the issue with the one?
Plan to remove all the cars before I-5 opens?
It will really depend on how we can get it safely removed, if we can reopen it. If we can reopen it and get it removed later, we will try to do that. However, it may be extremely difficult just given the weight and the length of these locomotive cars.
Sir, how has the weather affected this investigation?
The weather has not been kind to us during this recovery operation. Obviously, you can see that it's rainy, it's windy. Our field personnel out there that are trying to recover these items, they are miserable, but they are working as safely as they can, but it does slow down the process for sure.
And what was the issue with the one car?
People are doing their part, but again, traffic can change in a moment's notice. We can see volumes swell, so we want folks to continue to heed the warning. This area can be congested. The alternate routes can be congested very, very quickly. What may look wide open now, that can change as the peak commutes hit. So again, plan ahead, understand what you're getting into. A lot of these routes can't handle the capacity of I-5, and we're taking an awful lot of traffic and putting them on local street grids and smaller highways. We're going to continue to see this as a challenge for days to come.
Okay, that's all today. Thank you.
I had one more
Oh,
follow-up
one more.
question.
Oh, go ahead.
I apologize. There was a question that I wasn't able to get to. Like I said, we were going to move 5 cars, and I'm not sure if we were able to move all 5 or just 4 of them because we had an issue with one. The only issue we had with that rail car was how tall it was. It was a different type of car. I don't know if it's a banquet car or whatever, but it's taller. And before we move that, we want to make sure we were safe to do it to get under the underpasses. I apologize.
How long has the site on base been reserved for reservation?
That I don't know. I just know we have a spot.
Thanks, sir. Okay, thank you. That's all for the questions. We will, please follow social media. Again, we'll let you know when the next briefing is. We don't have that time right now, but we will get that out to you as soon as possible. Thank you, everybody. We appreciate it.
All right. So before you leave, yeah, I got it. I'm all right. Before you leave,
Yeah, absolutely. Where are you at right now?
on the road.
Okay.
You want me to come down right now?
Well, I'm just going to do it for right now. When I pull out, I probably got an hour of work. Oh, yeah. What's your fight where you're at?
I'm all right for now. Before we move,